Alright, so here's what we're doing here today. The last few races seemed like the race after the door slammers. Now, they didn't have any bracket racing after the door slammers. They had some kind of an underground streetcar, maybe a no prep shootout. And then we came the weekend after that. And it looked like they had scraped the track. And this car was pulling to the left on the launch. And when it would come back down on the ground, it was feel a little squirrely at the top end. I think it's just because it was pulling to the left and it's a little tricky to recover all the way down the track. And I thought it was the track because it got super cold that night and it looked like they had scraped the track. And those cars in those kind of races tend to do things to the track, and these bracket cars don't seem to like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crawl under it before I make any adjustments. I'm hoping I find nothing wrong, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of extra preload on the left coilover. That's what my plan is. If that's all I got to do, it'll be a quick little thing to try, and we'll see how it does. It's not bad enough to stop me from racing next weekend, which will probably be my last race. If it does good, I may possibly show up for a November 1st race, which is a fundraiser event. Plus it does pay good, so entry fees up there a little more than I'm used to paying, but it does pay good, and I've been going more rounds than I was the beginning of the year, so let's see if we can't figure this thing out and get her going straight, at least for the rest of the year. That could also be slicks too. I bought my slicks brand new last September of last year, and I have seen this car act that way, and then I just put a brand new pair of slicks on it and it all went away. So I'm going to check the circumference of the slicks too. I'm going to check the front end. I'm going to look for cracks and loose rod ends on the ladder bars, and we'll see what we can find. Okay, I found two things that are kind of off that could cause it to go to the left. First of all, I have more preload on the right side than I do the left side. That would cause it to go to the left. If I remember a long time ago, it depends on your tire circumference too, one side compared to the other. I remember a long time ago adding that preload to the right because I think it was pulling to the right. That was a long time ago. I vaguely remember that because I'm old and things happened 150 years ago. But so what I'm going to do is I'm debating on whether to give it less preload on the right or just increase the preload on the left. Preload will store more energy and hopefully shock the tires more. So I think I'm going to increase the preload on the left to make it equal to the right. And something else I realized, I checked the circumference of the tires with this cloth tape measure here, and it looks like my right side tire is 3/4 of an inch bigger than the left. The circumference is when you measure not the actual height of the tire, but all the way around it. And here's how I'm doing that. Some people may tell me there's a better way, but I'm using what I got because I am not a professional chassis shop. I'm just some guy in his garage who gets lucky, and I built this car back in '92, so I'm old, my car's old, everything's old and outdated, but yeah. Yeah, I had about 4 5/8 on the other side, and we got about 5 3/8 on this side. It's around 3/4 of an inch. I'm not going to do the exact math in my head because I need a calculator to do that. But, so yeah, that would also make it steer. Well, that would actually make it steer to the right, wouldn't it? Yep. You would think bigger tire on the left would make it steer to the right. Did 4 5/8 there. No, wait, this one's bigger. That was 4. Yeah. Hold on. Let me clear that up. We measured 8 feet, 4 5/8 inches. We're over here. We are 8 feet. It's hard to imagine that's 8 feet around there, isn't it? That's what it is when you measure it like that. 8 feet, 5. Okay, yeah, that would. This one is bigger. I had it backwards. So this one is bigger. And that would also cause it to go to the left. So I'm going to keep, as far as tire pressure goes, when I try it out this weekend, hopefully we get to go, and I'm going to use equal tire pressure like I always do. And but before I leave, I'm going to even out my preload to where both those shocks are the same height. From, it won't be overall shock height, but I'm measuring. I need a flashlight. And what I do is, you got a bottom adjusting cup right here. And, I don't know if you can see, there we go. And there's a spring cup up here. I measure from the bottom of this cup to the top of this adjusting nut. And I have homemade spanner wrenches. So I'm going to increase the preload to where it's even to that. And I don't remember the exact measurement, but that one, this one over here has 3/16 more preload than this one. Meaning these spanner nuts on the bottom are adjusted up 3/16 of an inch higher. The distance from there to there is shorter than this one. So I'm going to make this one the same. And I will increase preload on this side instead of doing the opposite and decreasing preload on the right side. So we'll try that. And hopefully this thing will go straight again. It didn't really start doing it until the air got good and it really started running better, and with the good converter in it, it's launching harder, and that with the air, sometimes if you're running a couple tenths difference, it changes everything in your suspension. What wasn't a problem before can become a problem now if you're running better. 7 inches and 3/4 from the bottom of the top cup to the top of the adjusting nut for the base. On this one, well, my stupid shoulder doesn't want to allow me to reach correctly. There we go. Oh. I need to be on the other side, so my bald head is going to get in your way. And I am getting 7 15/16. Yep, 3/16. I'm going to go up. We'll spray a little bit of WD-40 on those threads, and I will wash them off so it doesn't drip on the track when I'm done. Now, tighten that up. Couple of turns. Oh, it's hanging. I think my wrench is just hitting the spring, maybe. Possibly. I should jack the car off the suspension and it would turn easier. Let's see what we're getting. I want 7 3/4. Okay, we've already moved it a little bit more than a 1/16. I don't think this will be too much. Oh, it is, I'll just have to back it off at the track. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to work. I hope. Check it again. Okay, yeah, that is almost there. Yeah, got about a 16th to go, I think. Yeah. Wrong one. Oh, now put me right in the guardrail. I hope not. The thing is, I never did try the left lane when it was doing that, so it would really suck if I got in the left lane and it pulled to the right over there. It can happen. Almost there. I won't move it too much. I think this can be picky, but I think we'll be okay by making them even. I hope. So, if you think about it, I'm only moving it half a turn or something like that per try. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Now all I gotta do is tighten that up against there. Hopefully it won't move both of them. Okay, it's trying to move both of them, so I don't want to do any more of that. Check it again. I think it'll stay. Yeah, 7 3/4, and $7 3/4. That's even. If all else fails, make them the same. Just double checking. Yeah, pretty darn close. Now, I'm going to wash that off so none of that drips on the track this Saturday. And we must remember, this tire is 3/4 of an inch in diameter bigger than that one. So if I still get a little bit of pull to the left, it's got to be a lot less after doing that. But if I still do, we can play around with air pressure a little less on the left than the right. Start out with a ½ pound less. I got a feeling it's going to make a nice little difference. So, you know, oh yeah, and that shock was a little wet before I sprayed it down, so I do need new shocks, but I'm not going to buy them this year. I'm pretty sure if I went in there and looked for them, I wouldn't be able to get them before the end of the season anyway, thanks to a guy named Brandon. And hopefully we can fix that soon. And start getting parts by the weekend when you order, by the following weekend. So, I'll see you at the track. Alright, so I made the first pass, and it launched straighter, but every time I shifted, it felt like it was pulling to the right. So I backed my adjustment off a little bit, meaning I give it less preload than I had on the left. We'll see what that does. So I'm going to put the camera in the car and we'll film this one. We're only getting one timer. I'm going straight into eliminations. Good news is the car went good and straight. Bad news is I got beat by 008. But honestly, I'm just so happy I got the car figured out, because that last pass was ugly that it don't even bother me to take the loss. Here it is, 008 win margin. He had an 06, I had 078. Neither one of us has nothing to brag about on the reaction time. 133 with a 160 foot, and that just felt kind of tame. So amazing. What I did was I turned it in 1/4 of a turn on the left rear shock for preload. On the front shocks, I tightened my dampening up 2 clicks on both sides, and it didn't pull them as high. It didn't feel like it, at least. I'll have to watch the video to see. But it was just so much easier to control. I was amazed I got a 133 60 foot, because compared to the others, when it felt like it was pulling higher, it didn't feel like it left as hard, which I guess is a good thing. So we're going to try it again next. We do have one more race next weekend, a charity race. I was telling everybody I wouldn't show up. I couldn't get it straightened out, but now we got it straightened out. We'll give it a try, weather permits.